time today. I've been running around as usual. Got my television finally. My new TV came today. My son came, picked it up, put it up for me. So now I'm able to watch TV and watch some of my favorite programs that I've been watching. Today I want to talk about the worst president in the history of the United States of America. That's Joe Biden. Joe Biden, with his smiley face, has been robbing the American people ever since 1972. It's over 50 years ago. You understand how much money this guy has robbed, and we will never know? I doubt we'll ever know. Can't this guy be humble at all? Do you realize we've been having a guy running this country who doesn't know what he's doing? The guy's definitely ill. It's either dementia or something else, but his memory's not all there. Now, speaking to you from an 80-year-old man whose memory is, and I'm going to say 85% there, because I forget things sometimes. Yes, I'm a human being, but I got a better memory than Joe Biden, because I remember the things that he didn't do. And that's everything that he said he was going to do for the American people. Now, from Joe Biden on down to our liberal governors, and I'll speak mainly here about Governor Newsom. You know, he said on TV he got that name while he was in high school. That's not something to be proud of, Newsom. You were given that name in high school. I wish that guy would have warned the rest of the country here, particularly California, but he didn't. And you became the governor of California and run it in the ground just like you ran San Francisco in the ground. Armin, hi, Harry, thank you for coming. Yeah, Joe Biden, Governor Newsom, and Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles. Do you know that it was Joe Biden who asked Karen Bass to go to Ghana for the presidential inauguration over there? Why is the president asking a mayor from a city to go instead of either himself or somebody from his cabinet? Why? But he did. And then she went knowing what was in, that we had these high winds coming and there was danger ahead for her city of Los Angeles. What's wrong with these people? I don't know about you folks, but I could not have survived another 4 years of these liberals putting this great country in the ground. There's my friend Fred. Hello, friend. Mark Kenny. How you doing? Over in Ireland. Who's 83? Biden? Oh, no, Michael Higgins. Yeah, a lot of 80-year-olds got sharp minds. But not Joe Biden. Not Joe Biden, definitely. We should have been told immediately. The people around him should have told him he should have stepped down a long time ago. Now imagine though, maybe we should be thankful that he didn't. Because if he would have stepped down a long time ago, Kamala Harris would have been the president. And that might have increased her chance to win. Thank you, thank you, Blizzy. You're going to donate $100. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can't wait. January 20th is Monday, right? Whew, I can't wait. I don't want to see Biden's face again. This guy's going down in history as the worst president ever. And now look at the whole country, the whole world knows that that peace deal that was made over in Israel was because of what Donald Trump said. The whole world knows that. And Joe Biden wants to make some smucky remark. He wants to act like he's the one that did it. Gary, you got herpes. I don't know how, buddy. It's a problem. I don't know what to do with herpes. I never had herpes. The deal's all over the hostages. And Donald Trump made it very clear. And they got his message loud and clear of what would happen the moment he took office if those hostages were not released. Stop hooking up with other dudes. What do you mean, SoCal? Well, you're speaking to the gentleman with herpes. Is that herpes is a sexual disease, isn't it? I'm not even sure. I don't even know what it is. I'll have to look it up when we go off the air here. But anyway, that's it with Joe Biden. They're going to do another recall on Newsom. And I'm thinking this one might actually happen. The people don't want this guy in office. People are seeing a daylight finally here in California. So I got a good feeling that come the next elections in this state, they're going to start going blue, red. Watch and see. I feel very good about it. Thank you, So Esco. I don't know how much prices are going to go down. That's a really good question, Buska baby. I think that they will go down uh, because the price of gas will go down, so the price of transportation goes down. Okay, and exactly how much, will they go back down to the days that we knew when we had good prices? I don't think it'll go down to that, but I think it'll go down so we could feel a little reprieve, anyways. And over time, they'll go down a little more. I have cereal for breakfast normally, but once in a while I'll indulge in some eggs and bacon, just like everybody else, I guess. We got Glenn from the Philippines here. Thank you, Angel. Thank you for coming. Uh, though you weren't here earlier, I let everybody know that uh, I've got my new TV was delivered today. My son came, hooked it up, so now I can watch television again. Um, you know what I've been watching? I've been watching Nikita. I think I might have told you this yesterday. I'm not sure. Uh, what was I going to say? Yeah, Nikita. I like Maggie Q, who plays Nikita. I never saw it when it was on, And now I think I got one more season to go before I finish it here. But I like these action. I like women in action. And but speaking about woman in action, I gotta tell you, what's her name? Pam Biondi, who is going to be the new Attorney General that Donald Trump nominated. She's very beautiful. That's what I think. I could fall in love with her easily. She's very smart, very witty. You know, that's why all my love goes to women. And I said this before, as maybe if some of you forgot. You know, I got no problem going in an alley and go up a lot of gangsters, big guys. Okay, that don't bother me. I'll do it. I might get my ass kicked, or maybe I'll kick ass. I don't know. But I don't want to go in an alley and have to go up against a woman because they're going to kick ass. And these women, folks, and the guys, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't think a woman is smarter than you, yes, you better start thinking again. And I'm very happy with the way women are developing in the workforce of this country, getting the good jobs. They deserve more. Women are very intelligent. And, you know, when I first began, when my book first came out, and my publishing company told me most of my sales are going to be from women. And I couldn't really understand what he was meant. But they were actually uh, correct. I drove Construction LLC. Yes, I'll tell you a story about Connecticut with Megale. Anthony Megale was a good friend of mine. Does that ring a bell? But so, see, you get me off track here. Uh, I look like James Bond. I wish I were. There's our buddy Wyatt Earp. Thank you for coming, Wyatt. So what was I saying? Okay, well, I might as well tell the story. You like gangster story. My friend Jerry Zimmerman, I'm sure you've heard that name. Jerry was out here. Jerry was a great guy. Back in New York, he used to be with Michael Franchese. And before that, he was actually with Sonny Franchese. But, you know, Sonny placed him with Michael. And Jerry ended up out here in California. And after he ended up in prison because of Michael, he ended up in jail down in Florida with the gasoline thing. Uh, that's a whole nother story. But Jerry was one of the best con men you could ever meet. And he comes to me and he says, this director of documentaries, John Jocelyn. He did He did the Al Capone tapes with Herrero. Remember that there? Uh, and in Chicago, he did people walking over Niagara Falls, stuff like that. Well, he bought in. He was one of a couple of other people that bought in and owned the rights to the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. And it was this guy from Connecticut. His name, it's in my book. I got his name in my book. I know that for sure. And now it slips me. But if you have my book, his name is in there because I tell his story there. So John wants, and there was a guy from the Piaget watch family that owned the third. And the guy from the Piaget watch family died. So the guy from Connecticut got on a plane, flew to Paris, and bought his stock from the wife. Now he owned 2/3, and he was screwing John Jocelyn out of his money out here. So John wanted wanted to sell his stock and he wanted $1 million. And at that time, it really was not worth $1 million. And he also wanted to get the rights to do a documentary on the Titanic. So I had to meet. Now, the biggest money guy in there was a guy named Bill Gasparini out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Bill was turned out to be a very nice guy. He owned a wrought iron business. He owned restaurants. He probably owned Greenwich, Connecticut. The guy was, and he was tall. Trust me. And so I told John, I said, well, 15,000 a week plus my expenses. Boy, he rolled me the first week right out, 15 grand, like nothing. Put his credit card on in New York. I flew in to Warwick. On Monday morning, I had a meeting with Bill Gasparini, 8 a.m. at his wrought iron business in Greenwich, Connecticut. I got all dressed up. I had a suit, a tie, had a briefcase with stock papers in there. This is a straight business deal, folks, to me. I take the train into Greenwich. I get out. I take a taxi. I go to Bill's office, which was right in the center of this huge. I mean, this guy built steel like you can't believe. And so I'm sitting at the office, and he had like a conference table attached to his desk, and I was sitting at the table. And now he's starting to mention wise guys, names, all names that I know. And I'm feeling under the table. I'm going, what the fuck? Is this place bugged or what's going on here? And I said, Mr. Gasparini, perhaps I read those names in the newspaper, et cetera, et cetera. He kept mentioning Anthony Megale's name. Now, Anthony was the boss of Connecticut at that time. I didn't know Anthony. I got introduced. So now when I got back, I said, he said he'd give me a decision. He brought me to his restaurant. We had a nice lunch together. And he told me he would give me word on Friday. So now on Friday, I'm at my hotel. I'm waiting for the call. I don't get no call. So around 4:30, I decide to call. I better call him. I call, and his secretary said, well, he's at his home in Cancun, Mexico. It was either Cancun or Cabo, one of the places. So I act stupid. I said, he gave me the number to his home there, and I misplaced it. The secretary ended up giving it to me. I called them up and I ripped them a new one. And you got a little nervous. But now I want to find out who Anthony Megale is. So I went to in Westchester County, and I met with Greg. He was a skipper with the Gambino family. His name was Greg De Palma. Okay, so I meet with Greg. He said, I'm good friends with Anthony. He said, I'll set up a meeting for you. So he set up a meeting because Anthony was still on paper from a federal case. And it was in a Italian restaurant on the borderline of Westchester County in Connecticut. And they had a table set up for us in the kitchen. That's where we sat. We had a meeting, and I met with Anthony. And Anthony tells me, this guy's mentioning my name all over the place. I don't know this guy. He said, you got permission to come into Connecticut and do anything you want. You got to have permission if you're going to do something. Okay? And I got the permission from Anthony Megale. He was a nice guy. I liked Anthony. And so now I had another meeting with Bill Gasparini. He mentions Anthony's name. And then I look at him. And I says, let me tell you something. You don't know this guy. He don't know you. The way you're mentioning his name, you could end up dead. You better fucking stop it. I said, because he's a friend of mine. Once he found out I knew Anthony, he changed totally. And so that's what happened, and that's how I met Anthony Megale, and that's how I know some of the people down there in Connecticut. Great place. I hope I answered your question. Who asked that question now? Was it Rick? I can't remember who it was. I hope you enjoyed that story, folks. It's a little one of my many, many stories that I got. And that story is in my book, The Accidental Gangster. And yesterday I had two women from here, two girls from here, bought my book yesterday. And I want to thank both of them. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. And if anybody wants an autograph copy, just all you gotta do is click the link in my profile, okay, and it'll take you right to my website, and you can purchase an autograph copy from there. And that's it for today, folks. I want to thank you all. Let's have a wonderful day. And thank you, baby doll. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Iron. All right. Yeah, we get nasty people, baby doll. We know that there. We get some people that they're trolls, whatever. They're rat lovers, actually. You know, I got a question for all of you, and you can write to me in comments or where. All right. I want to know why people love rats. Why do you go to their networks, their station, YouTube stations, and listen to rats? I can't understand it. So maybe you could help. Mark, I could assure you, Mark, that Donald Trump already has my book. That I know. Okay? And he didn't have to buy it. But thank you, Mark. He does have my book. But, for those of you folks who haven't read my book, at the end of my book, there are letters. There's a letter to Sonny Franche, letter to Jimmy Cacci, other people who passed away that I knew, letters to people who are alive. But the very last letter is to the U.S. House of Representatives. And that's a letter that each and every one of you should be reading. And if you want to do yourself a favor, okay, purchase a book, go to Amazon, purchase it, have it sent to your representative in the U.S. House of Representatives, and earmark that letter that I wrote to the U.S. House of Representatives. I thank you all. God bless you, and you all have a wonderful evening. Take care now.